Alright, this is one way I come here and I'm at the disused South Gippsland Highway level crossing in Cranbourne. Well, one thing with this crossing, only the railway portion of the crossing is disused. Pedestrian crossing, still very much in use. I've used it many times before. So over here, there's all this bent metal from I think a car went off the road and hit it all. Down there is the abandoned South Gippsland Line. And a substation thing for the overhead wires. As well as some unused gantries, and there's also a signal up there in the distance. Over here is just a crossing signal pole with nothing on it apart from that little cap. The crossbuck and the lights were likely, one remaining light and the crossarm were all likely stolen by some silly person when the when the hole got knocked down. Yeah, there's the hole. Right there, that's where the lights used to be mounted. For quite some while there was only one light on the crossarm. Over here in the middle. There's the old PTC era crossing faults thing. X045. There's the lights which are fading. See the grey colour of the metal starting to show. See the grey colour of the silvery grey colour of the metal starting to show through on those lights. These are the newer Mckenzie Holland lights from the Westinghouse style crossarm that you kind of see there on the junction box stuff, which is hanging loose, is Mckenzie Holland. And same with that other one way up there. And there's a extremely sun-bleached crossbuck. It's gone yellow and the letters are starting to peel. Well, up near the R in the word rail, it looks a little better. Stop and red signal sign. It's actually it's still in great condition. So here, this even still has the old round Armco barrier around the post. So it's just got a concrete base with nothing on it, apart from flaking paint and a bit of moss. There's the sign there. I like those older mounting brackets. Then these are still unmarked. I think they're Westinghouse lights. Yeah, they're unmarked black painted Westinghouse lights. Either that or just very late Mckenzie and Holland ones. They look the same as the Westinghouse. Here's another one of these cool round Armco barriers with the railway line posts. See the post there, railway. Paint's coming off the pole. Up there is something cool. Some marked Mckenzie and Holland lights. Not too many of those are left around. I've got a set in my collection of stuff. Those are looking pretty cool. See there. There's the back of that crossbuck. And another sign. And there is a base. There is the concrete base hiding down there in all that grass. And also under this branch. There's also a couple of broken signposts and a steel pipe sitting in here. And there's also like a tyre tread, and in previous visits I've seen hubcaps and things as well. Stop and red signal sign. This one's also in pretty good condition. Mckenzie and Holland lights on here. There's a crossbar here. This one's a bit better condition though. The middle part where the post is between the two houses. It's have a bit of a dirt mark on it from like rusty water and the bolt dripping down across the lettering. And I've got someone missing. His lights still up. Looks like that the lenses in these lights here have actually been upgraded. It's been replaced at some point. They originally would have had the glass Mckenzie Holland ones. Those ones are plastic. You can tell because they've got a more matte finish rather than a shiny one. The Mckenzie Holland, they may also be the General Signals Lexan lenses that are commonly used as replacements. Here's still the signalling stuff for the pedestrian crossing. Over here. Wait for that light to change. Now I can cross. Over here is a setup that's much newer crossbuck up here. It's also on a much newer post, and crossbuck's actually not that old. The bolts aren't even rusty. Westinghouse hybrid bell, 2nd generation. See up there. So I think it may have a gong from a 1st generation bell on it. Also got a post adapter stuck inside. We got Westinghouse LED light, which is rather unusual for a disused crossing, which suggests they may have installed these very shortly before the crossing got decommissioned. There's stop on red signal sign, and the sort of actually the current type of base that's used on some of the V-line crossings. Yeah, just look on some of the channels of the rail fans, and there's a few videos, you can see those. And there's the Westinghouse lights, they're marked silver ones. The shadow makes the one behind, or the one in the back, look black. From this view, yeah, still got a shadow. See the Westinghouse logo there. These lights are bouncing down a bit lower than water crossings, so I don't need to worry about zooming in. And then we got the pipe clip style sign brackets here. Look carefully there. Once it focuses. I don't know if it will. See ART05, ART K10502. ART, that means that's just the little stamp that Artcraft sign company stamps into their sign, and the 0502 is actually a date code. Not sure what those screws are for. Hang on, now actually I do know. They're actually holding the sections of the pole together. There's one there between the lights and the other one just known as the crossbar. The view of the bell. See some spots on it. I don't know how well you can see inside that, but it's full of spider webs and snail dirt, all sorts up inside there. I can see it here, but the phone camera doesn't pick it up very well. You can also see all the rust spots on the gong. Yeah. Here, this is Here's the signs. Look at this one. It's actually a current style post cap there, suggesting that it was actually put on by the local council, not instead of the railway company. They often put those onto posts, even disused ones, just to make sure that people don't get or cut themselves on the top or lose stuff inside them. Have a look at the signal. Now the LED lights on this crossing are weird, suggesting that this, I would say, this signal here probably originally, so the signal here probably originally had Mckenzie Holland lights and maybe a teardrop out at some point. And then I think it may have gotten knocked over or something, and then they put this up. See the wires hanging out of the junction box. All the junction box covers, apart from that hanging one over in the middle, are missing. Yeah. Over here is the relay cases for the crossing. Over here, this is where the test switch is. I like that old danger high voltage sign. There's that white box is actually a daylight sensor or something. Not sure what that's for. Probably some lights or something. It might be the one for the station lights over there or something, or those ones on the footpath, but they've got their own boxes on them. So here's but there is a test switch in there. I came past here one time, I came past here a couple of weeks ago, and I think the top half of that thing, well actually the bottom half of it, had actually fallen open in the wind, because the screws in the hinges had started to rust, and it was just sitting open, and I had a little peek and I saw a test switch inside. And I didn't touch it, I only had a look, and I did the right thing and closed it up after I had a look. Here's another box, which is unlocked for some reason. I don't know why. Lock it up. Hang on, no wonder it's not locked. The padlock is broken. You push it to lock it, but it doesn't lock. Here's the pedestrian crossing, or what's left of it. Here, this will have to be all ripped up and redone. This will all be ripped up, and this crossing grade separated for when they extend the Cranbourne line, which currently stops at that giant yellow buffer thing. When they extend the Cranbourne line eventually down to Cranbourne East, there is plans to do that, and they will be using the old South Gippsland Line track bed. See spots, there's rails over here are covered in rocks. E-line bus, Western Port Road lines. See here on the road, you can see the spots, the asphalt's chipping away, you can see the rails underneath. You can also still see the spots over there, and also right there where the curb stops. That was originally for where that was probably originally for like where the there probably would have been more fences or something up when this crossing was in use, but there currently isn't. But they may have removed them, or they just got knocked over at cars by the time. Sorry about all the noise. It's what you get from a dual carriageway road that's very busy. This is the railway crossing sign. The width marker is still alright. though its reflective coating is long gone, and yeah. The crossing sign, its reflective coating is still there, but it's flaking away slowly, especially around where the sea is, particularly in the middle, and also sort of underneath the R. This side over here near the G is okay. I think because it's bent downwards slightly, the sun doesn't hit it as much. Yeah. It's also cool to see the traffic lights here. And something else that's kind of, imagine, if you look right there, you can actually see the old remnants of the old stop line for the railway crossing. And those squares that you see in the road, the cars driving over, those are the sensors for the traffic lights that operate the pedestrian crossing. Sure, there is all bridge traffic lights, two aspect ones there. And then all the others are three aspect. Yeah, that's the way that, sorry the sun glare though, but with this cantilever here, it almost makes it look like it used to be part of the crossing and they reused it for the pedestrian one over here, but it never was part of the crossing. So here, and so when they extend the line to Cranbourne East, this crossing will be grade separated. It will definitely be grade separated. See how many cars are coming up. Just cross over here and I'll just have another look over on this side. Here's let's walk down a little section of the old line. There's a big part of an old track circuit. Let's see. Pinpoint detector. CSEE transport. You see some numbers on there. I think that's part of the detection system for the crossing. Just to wait for a water cooler. Actually, it's the wait for this thing. See, this is the track detection thingy. Whatever's left of it, which isn't much. Someone's obviously pulled this off. Be responsible. I have did a responsible thing and put it back on. Is this post? You can see those big gashes in the paint. That must be like, I think the vehicle came up here between the stop sign and this no standing sign. So say it came up, I would say the vehicle came up right between the stop sign just there and the no standing sign on the left. Came up, sideswiped the post, continued, hit down the original traffic light that was here. See, this is a nice shiny new pole and a nice new traffic light unit up there. So that would have gotten knocked down, and then it would have continued along and hit down all these barriers, which for some reason since it happened they've never bothered to come and clean it up or fix it or replace it or whatever. Probably, yeah, I'm not really sure why. Over here is actually another newer traffic light. Its pole was a bit... its pole's actually new, it's got a new button on it. Luckily though, with this carriageway here, you can barely see where the rails are going through the road. You can see these tiny cracks but no, like, nothing, like, major, like, over on the other side. Yeah, that was a little tour of the Disused South Gippsland Highway level crossing and the in-use pedestrian crossing. You can see. Another thing I wanted to point out quickly is just, you see that little circle in the asphalt, just where that red stuff is. That's actually from where a bit of fence used to be that would have gone from where the circle is over to this post. That would have been the fence that would have stopped people from going like straight across the train tracks when the crossing was activated, or just to slow them down. So they would have had to go around sort of the path I'm using with the camera and then go here. See the weight here line looks more like ain't here. Yeah, ain't here. You see.